Hi, it's Kylie Koo, and this is day 15 of the Artist Trading Card a Day for the month of June. So, halfway there. So I've started by putting some water down on my ATC, and I'm just using my fluid acrylics. That's a violet colour. I'm now adding some gold, and I'll go on to add some purple. I then spray these with some water, and actually when I see that I quite like it, but it's not what I wanted, so I continue. So just kind of moving the paint about a little bit just with my brush. Leaving it quite thick really, and I'll give it a dry after that. So I do like the way that that's shaping up. I particularly like the gold colour. I'm trying today to do a kind of industrial feel. So I don't have any of these kind of paints that create rust effect, etc. So, you know, I'm just trying to do what I can. It's not pure rust that I'm trying to create, but as I say, just more an industrial feel. So I add more of the gold and go through a similar process of spraying some water on it and just spreading it about a little bit with my paintbrush. I like these paints, they're really versatile, and I think the colours sit well together. So I think I might try and get some more in the not too distant future. So now taking my gear stencil and just looking at how I'm going to place this on. I know that by using this I'm going to use some of that background, so I'm just looking at which bits I would want to retain and where I might be happy to block some of it out. So I take some burnt umber and some Payne's grey. I had initially been going to mix the burnt umber with black, but decided that the Payne's grey would just be a bit softer. But then decide that actually I'm not going to mix them, I might use a bit of both, though in the end I only use the Payne's grey. So again, just looking at how I'm going to place that. Because the ATC is small, obviously some of the bigger embellishments, the bigger pieces of the stencil would be difficult to fit in place. So I'm trying to get lots of the little bits for interest. At this stage I'm very much still creating the background. So this is giving me the kind of feel that I want, with the background the kind of darker colour now, and the gears and the cogs in the kind of rusted gold colours. So moving on to the next stage, and I have this punch, I think it's called a crocodile. I've had it for ages. I mainly just use it as a punch, but I do have all these little oh gosh, there I go again, forgetting names of things. Those things anyway, that I can punch into it. So I thought, well, since I'm going for an industrial theme, I will use some of them. Now I was thinking that if you didn't have something but you wanted to recreate something like this, you know, you could take a kind of piece of cardboard, cut it into a circle and then punch a hole in it. So give it a kind of that kind of look. So this is now a piece of copper jewellery wire. It's quite a thin piece, but I wanted to link that between the two eyelets and to add this charm with the globe. And I fiddle about with this for ages. To begin with, I'd kind of put it on it the way that the charm was sitting behind the wire, and I don't know, it took me a few minutes to fathom out how to get it the right way round. Now the wire is very soft, so all the time it's kind of bending. But I do get that into place, and I actually like the bend that's in the wire, but I decide that I'll probably take it in a slightly different direction, and meantime I'm just looking at those gears and seeing how they might fit on. So I take this back out and I decide that what I want to do is to put some twists into the wire. Now sorry, this does go a little bit off camera, I was just having to work with it quite close to me. I do have some little pliers, but this was so soft I was just able to bend it, and I didn't want a kind of even twist in it. So I just twisted that round a few times, now trying to thread it back into the little eyelets, and I decide that I need to hold the charm in place, otherwise it's just going to slip up and down meantime. So I'm just threading the wire back through the loop of the charm and pulling that as tight as I can. And once I've got that in, I just check for length, and then I decide to put another little loop above that. Then all I do at this stage is to put it through the eyelets and just fold it back, and that pretty much holds it in place. I will probably at some point put some tape or something over it just to fully secure it. So I liked the way that was looking. And then looked at how I might fit the gears on. And I decided to use my glossy accents to put this in place. Now, someone the other day had asked why I had used that for a particular thing. I do find that it's quite a fast drying glue, and it does dry clear. Although it's intended as a kind of embellishment itself, it's very good for this type of thing. So that first gear actually has a bit that kind of sticks up in the middle, so I wasn't too sure how well that would stick down given that it wasn't an even surface, but I decided to go for it nevertheless. And I then just glue my other gears into place. So now I just take the bottom of the Glossy Accents bottle and just push them into place, just trying to make sure that they're fully adhered. So I got these little things in one of the craft boxes that I bought a while ago. There's probably an unboxing video. And all I'm doing is put down some Glossy Accents, and I'm now putting these down and onto it. And I like the effect. After I took them out, I did think, oh, what have I done? Because these are going to go everywhere. But I did like the effect that they created. And I noticed too that some had actually fallen a little bit into the other gears, and of course had stuck onto the Glossy Accents that had kind of overflowed from there. And when I saw that, I thought, actually, I quite like that. The notion of those little, potentially little ball bearings or whatever coming from the machines, from the gears. It's nice sometimes when something that you don't intend actually turns out to be a bonus. So I was liking the way it was going, but felt that the overall colour in the background was just a little bit too bright, so I wanted to tone it down a little, and I'm now using the green-yellow colour. Just trying to darken that background a little bit. Now it will dry slightly lighter, but kind of just going all around that, just toning some of the gold down a bit now. I have been trying every day to do something slightly different, and also been trying to use some materials that I like but have been sitting around for a while. So this has been quite a good way to kind of do that. So now some more Chit Chat stickers, and I've entitled this one Everyday Life. I did think that might be a little bit depressing in some ways, but it's not intended to be. It's just that kind of notion of the wheels going round and things fitting into place and making things happen. just taking that pen and doing a very dark border. So I hope that you've enjoyed this one. I certainly enjoyed making it. This one took about 30 minutes to make. So not too bad. So as always, thanks very much for watching, and bye for now.